Hi, everybody, and welcome back. And thank you for the loving support I've been receiving from all of you these last few days. I also want to thank you all for the heaps of advice. And I think one of you may have hit the nail on the head. We have an issue with one of the walls in our rental home, and when they took the top layer of plaster off, it was clear that there is mold. I spent more time outside yesterday, opened windows, and took walks these last few days, and I must report that I slept better and by now had at least 2 nights good sleep behind me. I'm still a little sad, but can at least lift my head and get dressed even though for now I'm sticking to soft and comfortable clothing. Anyway, let's move on. I have a feeling that there is more going on behind the scenes and among the royal family than meets the eye. A while ago, I reported that the Wessexes did not appear too happy with something, and one of the stories in the media at the time was that Edward was not seen at Windsor for about 4 months. Well, that story was indeed true. There was also a sort of lackluster attitude in both Edward and Sophie's public appearances, and then they went on a family vacation, and since their return, something has changed. Yes, Sophie is doing a fantastic job as always, but it appears as if she has a whole new wardrobe and renewed energy. But more than that, I'm noticing the exact same thing with Edward. All of a sudden, he appears to be more himself and dressing according to his personality, which, from what I hear, is rather quirky and artistic. Edward appears to have a twinkle back in his eye and is seen laughing and a whole lot more relaxed than he had been in years. I heard a lot of stories about Edward's unhappiness and him avoiding Windsor was because of Andrew, but I watched Andrew and Edward's body language when speaking to one another at the memorial, and they seemed relaxed with no tension at all visible between the two of them. Therefore, I am far more inclined to believe the other story I was told, namely that the family blow-up was among Charles and his brothers, and not Edward and Andrew. Of course, we can speculate what it was about, and there is a multitude of theories in circulation. It could have been about the Duke of Edinburgh title, patronages, Andrew's court case, and so on and so on. We'll never know for sure unless a fly on the wall decides to talk. All I know is that there were a series of events and meetings in October last year which caused whatever ill feeling there was between family members. I had some information that at least one meeting ended in a heated discourse in which Harry and Meghan's names were mentioned, and that William was either very angry or very upset. Of course, even if there was someone who knew exactly what was said, they will not tell me, and we can just guess. However, from my calculations, it must have been at more or less the same time that something happened to upset the Wessexes. Now, I'm going to make a calculated guess here, and I'm going to guess that since the Queen had recovered from COVID, and is obviously feeling better than she has in months, she had finally put her foot down and likely reminded her sons that she is still the queen and still their mother. I also think the overall support for the Wessexes and our criticism of the way they were being pushed aside finally reached her ears via her aides and advisors. I think the fact that she overruled Charles and William to allow Andrew to escort her into the church actually proves this. It was the most practical thing to do, and to allow him to enter with the least media scrutiny from outside the church. And the Queen, having done her job for 70 years, most likely knew this, and she was not going to allow her son to prescribe to her how to treat her other son. I also think the fact that the Queen made Sophie Colonel in Chief of the Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers, a title held by Prince Philip for more than 50 years since becoming Colonel in Chief of the Corps in 1969, showed that the Queen is serious about being fair and rewarding her children, grandchildren, and their wives with what they deserve. It is said that Sophie feels very honored and flattered, and she already met with the Master General Lieutenant Paul Jacques and Colonel Jason Phillips on Wednesday to formally receive the title. Sophie got along well with her father-in-law, Prince Philip, and I'll never forget her tears during an interview with Naga Munchetty in June last year. And I just know that this honor could not have gone to a better or more deserving person. I'm also regularly in awe of how beautiful Lady Louise is becoming. She looked beautiful for Prince Philip's memorial, but more than her beautiful face, I love how she carries herself and how perfectly in sync her behavior is with every event she attends. I see a lot of similarities in the way she acts and carries herself to the way William does, and I cannot help but wonder whether it is Prince Philip's influence we are seeing manifest itself in the two of them. Louise, for some unexplainable reason, had been one of my favorite royals for a while now. I know she will now likely go on to study further, but I sincerely hope that we'll see more of her in the future. I certainly feel that she is mature and intelligent enough to play a positive role in future royal activities and duties. But I have now digressed a little. I also hear from Neil Shawn and others that there is a possibility that William will stand in for the Queen during the opening of Parliament. I know I'm the first one to become irritable with people reading more into situations than they should, but I can't help but feel that there is a sudden awakening of sorts among the royal family, and that our opinions are being discussed and considered. And I'm hearing whispers that there are some within the hallowed halls who are quietly discussing the option of Charles continuing with his duties as the Duke of Cornwall and the Duchy of Cornwall, and for William to ascend to the throne when the time comes. Now, for those who love slamming me in the comment section, I want to make it clear that I'm not saying it will happen. At this point, I still think it is unlikely. But I'm not the only YouTuber, reporter, or follower of the royal family who is saying this, or of the opinion that what was a zero possibility of William taking the throne instead of Charles may be growing to a bigger possibility as time passes. I have a feeling that there may come a time when we'll hear that William will be taking the throne due to Charles's ill health or health issues or whatever the royal family will find appropriate to say at the time. Another reason why I think the rumors of these low key talks may be true is because we have not seen a greater involvement from William in the Duchy of Cornwall business. Remember a year or two ago, we saw the video about Charles and the Duchy, and part of it was about William being shown around. And at the time, Charles even became emotional about William taking over from him. But it hasn't happened, has it? I also have a feeling that William and Catherine may be preparing for the possibility of them taking the throne sooner than expected, and that is why they are preparing their children for being in the public eye more prominently and more regularly. Another reason for me thinking that we may not see a King Charles is because I'm told that Camilla's health is not too good and that the COVID bug had hit her harder than it has Charles. I'm also told that it has taken a toll on her overall health and pre-existing conditions. Now, I think that if Camilla's health becomes a bigger concern, Charles may feel that he can't subject her to the rigorous duties of Queen Consort and may choose not to ascend to the throne. But, guys, these are my opinions, and to date, there are no sure facts to prove that I'm right or wrong for that matter. All I know is that I'm not the only one thinking or saying this. As far as the Montecito ex-royals are concerned, I agree with Nigel Farage. If Harry could not come to England for his grandfather's memorial, he should not come back to England at all, and can therefore just as well drop his lawsuit against Her Majesty's government for Met security and his complaint against the Mail. It is absolutely becoming meaningless. Okay, guys and girls, I'm keeping it short this week, so that is all from me for now. I'll see you again soon on the next one. Take care. Bye.